My daughter sends me a video on TikTok. She sends me a TikTok, and it's of a young lady who explains that her father's vision, her grandfather's vision, excuse me, for her family was that he was gonna buy some land in Puerto Rico, and then split the land up into parcels and gift his children the parcels of land. And so the idea was so that his grandchildren would be able to grow up together on the island, build houses. I had to stop what I was doing because that was the same thing that I was thinking of. My family isn't what you would call tight knit. As a matter of fact, I think the closest person to me is my brother, the one that was raised with me. My brother and I, his name is Michael. We really don't have like relationships with our cousins and stuff. Like, and then when my brother and I were becoming older, like I wanted my children to know their cousins. You know, I wanted my children to know, my brother's kids, and I thought that that was a vision that I thought that we would kind of live close enough to where our children would grow up knowing each other. And but we both joined the military, and that wasn't the case. So our children, I think, in all the years, my kids are my oldest daughter is turning 32, my youngest son is turning 28, and then his kids are his girls are just becoming adults. So they're I think my oldest niece is like 21, and my youngest one just turned 18, I believe. And then the youngest one, my youngest nephew is 13. So they didn't get to grow up together, and that kind of always bummed me out. So the thought for Puerto Rico, I always made a joke, but it was something I was serious. I'm like, what if we just like bought a plot of land and just like build houses on it? So all of you guys, like I say kids, but they're grown now. All of the adults can have their own spot with their kids, and that way our family is together, and they can have, the kids can grow up together, and they get to know who their uncles are and aunts and cousins and stuff like that. That was always a vision of mine, and that's the plan that I'm trying to build when we get to Puerto Rico. Now, in this video, like she says she was like she just stops by and looks sometimes. She's like it makes me so happy that he actually did it. She's like she goes by and she sees how the family lives and stuff like that, and um this woman was grown now, right? So and she's like, oh, I'm gonna show you, like, and she showed the area, and it had like it was like 3 or 4 different properties, and they were playing music, and you can hear the coquis in the background and stuff. And my daughter sent me this, so we're talking after she sent it to me, and she's like that. She's like, the sound of the coquis is like so nostalgic to me. And I mean, I from what I hear, from what I understand, and correct me if you live in Puerto Rico, correct me if I'm wrong, but she said that like it's that sound. She's like, you got to get used to the. You're gonna have to get used to the coquis, because it's just like at night, like that's all you're gonna hear is like them all over the place. And and I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. Like she's like, you just like you're gonna go to sleep to it. It's gonna be so loud that that's like you open your window and that's what you're gonna hear. And it just sounds, I don't know, man. It just sounded so awesome to me. You know, having that type of that vibe and stuff. Just the thought of like all of us being together like on a plot of land. So like you still have your own space, right? Because like everybody, like you're an adult, like you want your own space. Like you don't want your parents like walking up on you and you know watching what you're doing and stuff like that. So you want your own space, when you're an adult, to have do your own thing, but to be close enough that you're just like right there. Like I always envision it like having a lake and like having the houses around the lake, in different, so like you have one on the east side, the west side, north side, south side, and you have to go and you buy like four-wheelers to drive around the lake. Like we'll probably get me and Lexi probably get a like golf cart or something because we're old, getting turning into old fogies now. But no offense to anybody who's older than us, just joking. But you know, get a little golf cart or something, or you could just drive to your kid's house or whatever, and we can change. Like we can alternate who's cooking dinner or whatever. Like or this weekend it's on us. Like we're gonna cook dinner or whatever. And let me explain something to you. If this sounds like a fantasy, it's because it is. Like it is a fantasy. It is a long shot. It is, it is something bigger than I've ever dreamed before. Like to be able to live the life that I want to live with my family. It is that, and I think that that's okay because a fantasy doesn't necessarily mean that it won't come true. Fantasies come true all the time if you're brave enough to go after the fantasy that you're seeking. Like it can happen. I mean, the whole point is to build a life you don't need to escape from, right? Like I don't want to have to go on vacation. I think part of me and part of Lexi too, I don't even think that we like to travel like that. It's like we like to be where we want to be, but I don't think we like the process of getting there. So imagine building something that you don't need to escape from. Imagine building something that like, this is home and I'm okay with that. I don't have to go anywhere. And that's the whole purpose. To build something, where would you go if ask yourself the same question that I asked Lexi. Like if money was no object, if you can live anywhere in the world, where would you go? And then what would you do to get there?